Right, here we are again. Um, what is happening in South Africa is it's not just murder of white people. It is also Africans fighting Africans. And then you've got Julius Malema telling his party not to go out and to actually attack, because the migrants from South Africa come to open up companies, businesses in South Africa. And they are actually creating jobs for the people. Yeah. And the kind of companies, very loosely termed here, is little shops where they sell cold drink and that kind of stuff, and chocolate bars, I suppose. I myself have never ever actually been to one, but that is what I've been told. And this is just proof that they cannot live together. They could live together if they were all from the same tribe, but if they all different kinds of tribes, then it's a problem. And because there's no actual growth in South Africa, this is what happens. Yeah, so let's watch it. I haven't even watched this. So let us start. This, nothing has changed.
Why are black South Africans attacking other black African immigrants? South Africa is home to approximately 65 million people, with black people making up around 51 million, or about 82% of the population. For decades, many nationals from other African countries have migrated to South Africa in search of opportunities. As the nation's economy grew, the number of immigrants entering South Africa has also increased. This phenomenon is a natural part of human history. People will move to places that are better off to improve their lives. Black South Africans have raised two major concerns. First, that the crime rate in the country is predominantly linked to other black African immigrants. And second, that the issue of immigration, illegal immigration. However, this assertion is misleading as it raises questions about the reasoning behind such claims. I mean, the true reasons behind.
A few years ago, I met a man from Nigeria, and he came here to South Africa. And when I wanted to know why he is here, he said that he's come here for work and for, that job, and he's got to get his wife and children here, that kind of thing. And it's like they've got some fantasy about South Africa that it's just wonderful. Yeah, they can come, they can like steal, murder, do whatever they want, and it's all good. But one thing that I actually realized about them They've got no concept of wrong or right. They will lie blatantly to you and think it's fine. Yeah. Oh, and also he happened to have been a pastor from some church.
Such claims. In South Africa, there are approximately 4.5 million white people, making up about 7.3% of the population, and 1.6 million Indians or Asians, accounting for roughly 2.6% of the population. Since 1994, black South Africans have been in charge of the country. It is no secret that the blacks have mismanaged South Africa. They have ruined the country. And it's so easy to scapegoat other black Africans, immigrants who moved to South Africa in search of greener pasture. It is important to acknowledge that all humans have a natural inclination to feel concerned when they perceive an influx of foreigners into their territory. Therefore, black South Africans have a valid right to express their concerns regarding the growing number of immigrants in the country. However, do they have to act in such a brutal way? I'm not sure. In this video, I want to draw some parallels regarding the racial differences between black people and white people. It is not if white people had done just 10% of what black South Africans have done, imagine what would have been in the news and all social media platforms. You see, white people treat black people better. We'll get to this. What has transpired in South Africa highlight the dysfunctional nature of the country, particularly in how certain groups of black people are engaging in violence and aggression. They are openly attacking, assaulting, insulting, and harassing other black immigrants in full view of the police and security personnel. These actions are being broadcast on television and captured by cameras, with the police seemingly complicit. Why is this happening so openly? Because many South Africans, black South Africans, share this perspective, including the...
But please take note. Take note here, please. Ramaphosa says there is no murder, genocide happening in South Africa. Yeah.
President Cyril Ramaphosa. This is one area where all South Africans, all black South Africans agree, blame all their incompetence on other Africans, as it is easier to blame, immigration.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the data, shall we? The top 10 African countries with the highest immigrant populations, according to the chart, just have a look, is Cote d'Ivoire first, then South Africa, and the rest are all within the chart. When countries like Kenya, Ghana, Angola, or Cameroon criticize black South Africans, I want to remind them that they often do the same in their countries to Nigerians living there. This issue is not exclusive to black South Africans. Almost every country in Africa tends to resent other Africans entering their borders. I never thought I would say this, but I rate Nigeria highly in this one aspect. It is the only black African country where no black person faces discrimination. Nigerians do not have time to attack, harass, or target foreigners within their country. What people in South Africa think about African immigrants, particularly Nigerians, reflect views similar to those held by people in Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Kenya, Cameroon, Ghana, and many other African countries. Nigerians are among the lowest of the immigrants in South Africa. Just look at the chart. I sourced this statistic from Statistics South Africa. Of the top 10 immigrant population in South Africa, Nigerians are the 9th. There are more British people in South Africa than Nigerians. There are more Indians in South Africa than Nigerians. Nigerians are under 30,000 in South Africa. South Africans tend to exhibit a level of violence and aggression that appears more pronounced compared to other black communities in Africa. This level of inhumanity towards fellow human beings in 2026 is truly outstanding. Now let's examine additional data, shall we? There are approximately 3.6 million foreigners living in South Africa. Of this number, 2.6 million are black African immigrants, while 1 million are made up of white, Asian, and other non-blacks. You don't hear anything about white immigrants, even though some of them are also illegal. Reports from the Department of Correctional.
Okay, I don't know what the whites are flocking to South Africa. I don't know about that.
Services, DCS, indicates that foreign nationals make up a small percentage of the total prison population, estimated at around 7 or 8%. Despite this evidence to the contrary, immigrants in South Africa are often scapegoated and blamed for crime. This narrative is spread on South African social media and various news networks, contributing to a climate of ignorance that has led to violence against other black African immigrants.
Yeah.
There are a total
that.
of 167,000 prisoners in South Africa. Among them, over 100,000 are black South Africans.
So those people in jail, gee, just think. Only 3,000.
Followed by 46,000 who are colored South Africans, a term used for mixed race people in South Africa, and then followed again by now African immigrants at 14,900 prisoners, while white people make up about 3,000 of the prisoners, and Indians or Asians make up about 1,500.
Yeah,
According to this
low.
data, black South Africans, including the colored ones, commit 88% of all crimes in the country, with black African immigrants responsible for about 9%. Therefore, blaming black African immigrants is often an excuse for the failures of black South Africans to maintain the structures established and built by the white people. On a different note, it is important to report that there are only 2.6 million black African immigrants in South Africa, which is half the number of white people. However, they commit crimes at a rate almost 5 times higher than that of white people in South Africa, which is concerning. There seems to be a trend of higher crime rate among black people, a pattern observed in several countries with significant black communities, including the US, the UK, and other European nations. This overrepresentation of crime levels is troubling. Consequently, it could be argued that the complaint should come from white South Africans or the Indians and Asians because they commit by far less crime than the black South Africans.
But if the white people had to say anything out loud, we'd be called all kinds of names. And I'm at the point where honesty, if we don't look towards the future, South Africa is going to end up like the rest of I'm telling you, Africa, and they're going to go begging to the white man for aid and food, and nothing will end.
So black South Africans have no right to complain because they commit more crimes than even African immigrants in South Africa. The UK, Italy, Canada, South Korea, and Sweden, all of which has more immigrant population on average than South Africa, sometimes as high as 5 times when compared to Sweden. Yet, none of these countries would treat black people the way South Africans treat other black people, especially black South Africans. What you see here is a pattern in all other black African countries. That's how they treat other black people. South Africa is not unique. South Africans are just way too violent, that's all. But it's similar across all of black Africa. If this had happened in any of the countries I mentioned, or all Western countries, white countries, you'd see that those people would face legal action. There is no accountability here. They do that in front of the police, in front of the security personnel, in front of camera. Everyone can see them. Everyone knows them. Nothing happens. You know, this country is so dysfunctional. As I have consistently pointed out in my videos, black people often experience better treatment by white people than from black people.
Where's the
In fact, black people tend to be safest when they live in white country. They live longest, they earn the most, have the best housing, enjoy the highest quality of life, and receive the best education in predominantly white countries. Let's use Sweden, for example. Sweden has just 10 million people and over 250,000 black people, making it about 2.5% of the population. In Sweden, black people do not face the same mistreatment that black people faced in South Africa, inflicted by another black person. Canada has 8 million immigrants. The UK has 9 million. Italy has over 5 million. South Korea has over 2.7 million. In these countries, one cannot observe the same level of open attacks, insults, and violence directed towards immigrants, regardless of their background. Yet, we call these people racist and all kinds of colorful names. Some of you may not be aware of the situation in South Africa, despite the considerable publicity it receives. Interestingly, African immigrants in South Africa are often treated this way for the past 20 years. This is not new. We should reconsider our criticism of white people, because white people typically do not engage in such behavior towards any human being. People who can, in public, assault another human in this nature, and everyone watches with camera and they're all applauding. White people can't do this. This is animalistic. This is barbaric. This is similar to monkeys. People, you don't treat other human beings like this. It doesn't matter what they've done. You can't do this in a civilized society. I mean, white people watching would just be like, look at these people in 2026. And they call us racist and all kinds of names. We don't even do this, even 5% of this. Like one place you should not take stories or history lessons about Africa is from African American. All they see is skin color. He's black. He black.
It's so true. After this, I'm going to show something that is written by a black person that lives in the comfort of the US, and all she can do is blame the white man. Pathetic.
Why? I'm black.
Imagine the illogic of getting angry at another black human being who's, mind you, we're Africans in Africa at this point, right? And it's really sad. Just side note, you know, when the black peoples are in Europe, they say go back to Africa. When the black peoples are in Asia, they say go back to Africa. When the black peoples are in the Americas, they say go back to Africa. So what we're dealing with are Africans in Africa, but still, apparently they find no home in the one place that actually is their home.
That's what they see. They don't see anything else. The content of your mind or your character doesn't matter to them. Just, he black, I'm black, he white. No. Watch African American social media. They always say, oh, they have white, no one attacks the white. They have these. The white people are South Africans. They've been there longer than any black person has been in America. When the white people got there, the black people in America were in the bushes of Africa with leaves covering their private part, farming somewhere, they were hunting animals. Those are South Africans, the white. The Indians are South Africans. I hope those black people who spend their lives blaming white people take note of this. You can see what's happening. How one black man treats another black person. How many people have been arrested? How many South African media channels are condemning this violence? This is not the first time this has occurred. The situation in South Africa is getting so bad. Over the last 20 years, white people have left the country. It's not due to genocide or anything like that. They're leaving. As white people leave that country, when they
hang on, white people are leaving also because of genocide as well.
All left, that country is going to become another Nigeria. And those black South Africans will start running away to other African countries in search of greener pasture. This is until black Africans stay in their country, fight and fix it. Even if you die in the process, you should die proudly fixing your countries. Stop running away to every other country. Stay in your countries. Stay in your countries and fix it. The world has moved on from that era of migration here and there. People no longer want this. It's enough. We have to stay in our countries and fix it. Black South Africans, again, I find it quite amusing because they're not even special. Like when you talk about black people, black South Africans for me are one of the most ignorant of all the black people. They're not even that intelligent anyway. I don't even understand why they think they are so special. Like, they are the poorest in South Africa. On average, they are the poorest. There's nothing special about them. This is just ignorant people just acting like lions. Have you seen how could you be hitting, assaulting another human beings like that? And you
because they've got no value for life. None whatsoever. And I think it's also I think this is the main part. They actually, besides not seeing value, they are so jealous. If somebody's got, for example, 10 spoons, they shall take 5. Because that's happened to me. I had, I think, 10 spoons at one time. It was years ago. And now I've got more spoons. But then, I was young and I just moved out of home. And I decided to have a maid and pay her. And she took half of my spoons and half of mugs and everything. Yeah, that's what they do.
Think this is correct. This is how you stop immigration. Are you out of your mind?
God, that child.
What is wrong with you? There are South Africans in the USA. They're illegal as well. You have South Africans in the UK. You have South Africans all around as well. What do you think you are?
Good
Everyone
Lord.
is tired of immigration, not just you. But the difference is the others act like human, especially white people. They voice their concern and do so in such a way that they don't infringe on human rights. You go out with sticks and stuff and chanting and acting like a bunch of lions in the pride, attacking other. Like, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with the mind of the black man?
And then, funnily enough, when it comes to the Muslims, Gaza, human rights. All crying there.
What is wrong with black people? What makes you think you can hit another human being and it's okay? Have you just look at the West. Lay one hand on a person and see what's going to happen to you in the US or Canada or the UK or all those countries that we like to call all those names of racism and blah blah blah. Yet we in our countries, all we do is hit him. In Nigeria, every 2 seconds, people, hit him, slap him, beat him. In Cameroon, beat him. That's all we do. We have this. I don't normally do reply to videos and stuff. I don't like it. But when I watch that video, a few of them, how they were hitting at other human beings who does something like that. How could you hit another human being like that? These people what is wrong? No wonder you've ruined South Africa. Look at what you've done. They gave you a country that was fine. That was
first world country.
Look at what you've done. And you want to blame other Africans for that? They're just 2.6 million.
And the what? They want to blame
from other countries in South Africa. Most of those foreigners there, those black foreigners, are from Southern Africa. Lesotho, even Namibians are there, Zimbabwe, all of them. Nigerians make up just less than 30,000. The countries like Ghana, they just make a few thousands. Are you trying to tell me that those few people caused that damage in that country, that beautiful country that you've ruined. Now you want to put the blames on someone else. It's all your fault. You are wild. You are disgusting. Well, Africa is not a place, because if Africa was a proper continent where they all sit together, the whole of Africa should impose sanctions on you. Just block that sick, disgusting country. Stay there and deal with it. Like, seriously. Like, police are looking, like, just there, watching, and the whole crowd, they're there, recording, and you're hitting at unarmed civilians because they are not South African. What does that even mean anyway? That country was built by white. You haven't even been able to make toothpick. Like, anyway, I don't want to go too far, but yeah, you see,
You're right.
black people have problem. We have problem. Like, we have serious issues. There's something wrong with the brain of a black man.
Yeah.
I see why some white people are calling for segregation. If I were white,
Yes.
I will fight for segregation, because
I
I can't
want
live.
segregation.
Just look at the black South
You can't
Africans.
live with them.
Would you want to share a country with people?
This is it. When the 7th October happened, Ramaphosa was crying. The poor little Muslims and all that crap. And he was pushing for the people in Gaza to have their own place, which they've got. They've got it. Now that, like us in South Africa, want anti-segregation to be a part, no. That is not on. Yeah. Maybe one day I'll make a video about that. Because there were things signed in 1994, 96, and I want segregation.
Like that? I mean, even during
You can't live with
apartheid,
them.
the white people didn't hit the black people the way the blacks are hitting the other blacks with cameras, even under apartheid. So the case for segregation makes perfect sense, because if I were white, I wouldn't want to live with that people. I'm sorry, there's no way I want to share a space with black South Africans or even black Africans. Just be your own and let's, just segregate it.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
sorry, but
be separate.
I think that's the best outcome here.
Yeah.
What is wrong with the brain of a black man? What makes you think hitting at people, using your fist, can fix any problem? Go make proper weapons if you want to fight. Your fist can't fix anything. If a white person wants to wipe you, they just fly over and just bomb the whole thing. You think screaming how you're pumping your chest up makes you strong? That's not how you fix problem. All problems are fixed through dialogue, where people sit together and address the issues and agree to something that's beneficial for everyone. You can't just go out, hit, and the worst of all, are the police. Again, have you seen some of these South African police? Some of them, they look like they're this big. Do they have some kind of vetting process where they vet them first and make sure that these people...
Nothing.
This man can... Because some of them are just so big. Like, what is wrong with this country? Anyway, I'm going to wrap up here.
Now that was a good video. Finally, a black man is actually saying what the white people, I'm not sure how many, but white people have been saying for donkey's years. He can see it. Respect. He can see it. And where is the lie? Where's the lie? Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.